Hi there, and today we're going to be looking at the new latest Deluxe edition, which is basically the reissue of Chris Squire's 1975 album Fish Out of Water, which has been done by Historic Recordings, and they've decided to put this new package out into a box set, and it's one of those sets where you're sort of getting everything sort of, I don't know, 2 or 3 times over. It's got to be something like that, because obviously, although this looks the size of a vinyl album, and you can see by the thickness of it, there's a lot more than a vinyl album in there, but I do like the way they've actually rammed, and well, not rammed, but got everything into this neat little package here, and the way it's been done, it's you know, it's nice and snug, the way everything is in there. And I've got to say that this is an album of Chris Squire's I've always loved, and it is his actual first solo album, which the band sort of had a bit of a break-up after their 1974 album Relay, and decided that all the members should take a break and do their own individual solo albums, and this one was came out of that, and I've got to say Chris Squire done it really well here with this album. It's always been an album that I've loved, and perhaps the best of all the 5 members who were with the band back then. You know, I certainly think it's I like the fact that Squire done it in his own way, and you know, didn't try to sound like the band he was playing in, and you know, it's sort of like being a solo artist in your own right, and that's the way Chris Squire's approach to this album really was, and that's what I admire him for. Well, anyway, I mean, this is I mean, these things don't come entirely cheap, but you know, it's priced at around £70, and for that you're getting well, let me just show you the contents, what we're getting inside here. I'm going to start with the first I'll start with the original, if I can just get this out. Oh dear, that's a bit awkward, isn't it? I've got to say, these things do slide about in here. But anyway, this is the original vinyl album, which was made back in 1975. I still have the original one, which I bought back then, actually, upstairs in the loft. But this one here has been, as you can see, it's a gatefold sleeve once again. They've replicated the album absolutely spot on to what it was, you know, back in 1975. And but they've also included a few other things in here. For example, I mean, originally the only thing you got inside the 1975 release was this poster, if I can just put this down a minute. And this is of, actually this poster here is of a fish, and I suppose it's the fish out of water. But actually this the photograph here is actually of a stained glass window that Chris Squire originally saw in France, and he bought it then, and he had it put in his bathroom, and so that's exactly what that is all about, and obviously relates to his nickname being the fish in the band, which the band members did sort of give him that nickname, because he was always taking a long time in the bath. Also inside here, I mean, also you can see here that the original gatefold sleeve wouldn't have had this opening compartment either. It only had, the poster was actually with the vinyl album inside, and this one opening pouch. But here they've also included a couple of 7-inch vinyl singles, to which you're getting. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, this one here, Lucky 7. It just contains the edited down versions of the album tracks, and you know, to be honest, you might as well listen to the whole tracks on the album. So to me, that is rather pointless, you know. I think, but what I do like is that they did include this much later single release that Chris Squire did with Alan White, which is Run with a Fox, and this is quite a really nice sort of Christmassy song, you know, what was released in 1981, I believe. And yeah, I do really like this. It was a great song, and it was done at the time that, if I remember rightly, Chris Squire and Alan White were working with Jimmy Page on a band they was going to put together called YYZ or something like that. But basically it never came off. So on the back of that, they sort of went into the studio and recorded this, and it really is a great, well-written song, you know. But obviously it doesn't belong to the time period of the 1975 album. It's much later, but it was great that they included this, I will say. Well, anyway, I mean, that's the sort of vinyl album part of it. Let's have a look at what else we've got. Excuse me a minute. There's right then, the next bit we have in here is right, let me just show you this. I'll get it out. Is that it comes with what looks like another version of the album. I mean, there you can see the actual fish, the stained glass window picture on the back, and the name Chris Squire, Fish Out of Water. But inside here we actually have the discs, and this one comes with 4, as you can see. You get 2 CDs and 2 DVDs, and the DVDs, the first DVD is the one that contains the 5.1 mixes of the album, and I think it's a bit sort of rotten that Historic Recordings have not released a 5.1 edition as an individual package. So for those who want the 5.1 recording, it's a case that you're going to have to spend the £72 to get it. And I really think that is like exploiting not only the artist, but they're absolutely not being fair to the artist's fans in doing such a thing. And this is always what I've seen as greed by record companies who do this thing, I've got to say. But I mean, actually I have written a review on this album, and a big detailed review, and expressed my opinion about Historic Recordings for doing such a thing, because honestly, I mean, this is, you know, what I honestly see as greed, and it is, you know, without a doubt. You know, the point is, with a box like this, as I said, you're getting the same thing over. So you're getting the vinyl LP, you're getting it on CD, and you're getting it on DVD. So, you know, you've got it 3 times over. It's not like a box set which contains, you know, different albums. It's all of the same thing, you know. And to me, you know, the point has been, I mean, I no longer collect vinyl. I haven't done for years, and like, so the only way I'm going to get my hands on the 5.1 recording is to buy this. Now, the vinyl album I'm never going to use. I'm never going to play the singles. The only thing what's any good to me is really the CDs, and well, I'll be honest, I don't even use the CDs, but I always play the 5.1 mix, you know, which is on the DVD. So it's only really the DVDs in this package that are the biggest value to me. I mean, the rest of it is just going to be stored on a shelf, and you know, just to look good, you know. And that's £70. That's a lot of money to pay, you know, for a product that, you know, comes with, I mean, just, you don't need the vinyl album, the CD, and the DVD. You don't need all that. Nobody needs all that. You know, let's be honest, you don't. If you're a vinyl collector, you'd go out and buy the vinyl album. If you're a CD collector, you'd buy the CD. It's as simple as that. if you're into 5.1 mixes, you go out and buy it on a DVD or a Blu-ray. It's as simple as that. I mean, you know, these kind of packages, you know, it's not just historic recordings who are doing this kind of thing, but it's all of them, and some of them are even charging twice the price of this thing. You know, and you're going to have to pay that kind of money just to get your hands on what you personally want, and I find that absolutely disgusting. But anyway, the final thing that does come in this box set is the actual book. Now, I'll be surprised. I mean, if you're paying £70 for something, you'd expect it to be an hardback. But in saying that, it's not bad at all, because they have made it. It's you know, nice and floppy sort of thing, and you do get you know, there's quite a bit of information in there. But basically, I mean, you've got all the song lyrics and the production linear notes and all that, and plus you've got like a couple of essays, one by Jacko Jaksic on the 5.1 mix of the album and the new mixes, and you've also got one by Sid Smith, which is basically talking about when the album was made, and I think it's got some interviews with Bill Bruford and some of the other people who played on it. I have read it, and I'll be honest with you, I mean, considering this thing is something like, I can't remember how many pages it is, but it's, oh yes, it's 35, well they're basically calling it a 36 page, yeah, a booklet, and, but the thing is, I mean, in reality, I mean, you're only getting a few pages of the information in here, you know, and the rest of it is filled with pictures and whatever. So it's not going to go into great depths, but you know, it's not too bad. I will say that. I mean, it's a good point that you have actually got one of the DVDs does come with an interview with Chris Squire talking about the album, and so you know, for me, if you're gonna review an album, that's also good to get information from, because you probably get more from that as well as what you're gonna get inside this thing here. But overall, I mean, it's you know, it's not a bad package, and there you can see like the master tape boxes with all the instructions written on and what it's got when they recorded the album at the time. So, you know, overall, I mean, it's not a bad package. But as I say, I mean, I do feel, you know, I'm disappointed at the way historic recordings go about releasing things like this. And you know, there's no doubt it is a ploy to entice people to go out and pay that money just to get their hands on the 5.1 recording, and that is totally wrong in my eyes. I mean, they could have simply, I mean, they have released a double CD separately. Now they could have done the same with the 5.1. They could have put two CDs and the DVD of the 5.1 recordings in a package and sold it like that for about 20 or 30 pounds. You know, which to me is being more fair to especially people like myself who buy music. I mean, let's face it, this day and age, hardly anybody's buying music. It's all downloads and all that. So this is not the way, you know, you want to be sort of I mean, they're probably doing it this way to probably try and get back some of the money they're losing, but in the long run, I mean, a lot of people are going to look at a box set like that and say, well, hang on, you know, I'm not paying that, you know. So, I mean, to me, I don't think they're being fair at all, but like in saying that, you know, it is a splendid package, you know, and I'm not going to, you know, I cannot argue with that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my little look at, oops, I'll have to put all this back, at Chris Squire's Fish Out of Water, which is the latest Deluxe edition. And don't forget to click on the link below and read my full detailed review about the album and my thoughts of historic recordings for releasing it in the way that they have done. So anyway, thank you. I'll catch you later.